We are back. Lights, camera, and we are back. Welcome, film lovers, storytellers, and all you creative minds out there. This is Cotton Room Floor, where the magic of filmmaking meets the raw, unfiltered realities behind the scenes. And guess what? We're kicking off a brand new season. You know that feeling when you have a brilliant idea, but finding the right team to bring it to life seems like a never-ending casting call? Well, today we dive deep into that struggle with a mockumentary that hilariously captures the chaos, the chemistry or lack of it, and the ultimate triumph of student filmmakers navigating the tricky world of collaboration. Joining me are the masterminds behind this capstone project, the writers, director, and producers who lived through the madness, is that correct to say, and made it work. Now, good to have you, Amit and Monique. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Awesome, awesome. Good to have you guys. Okay, now, so we want to know about what went wrong, what went right with your mockumentary. And personally, I am in love with the theme. I remember my own time as a student. It was one of my biggest challenges, finding the right team member to work with in a collaborative project. So let's start with that first. What inspired your mockumentary?
Well,
Yeah, so like mostly when it comes to like coming up with ideas, everyone has their like own separate idea, which cause it's like it tends to be like clashing of sorts. And it just came to at some point that we came to realize like the struggles that we have came to be like the greatest idea we could ever thought of. It shows how struggles like forming a team, just doing a simple project just to get it done, is already a big struggle itself, which creates this like interesting story in itself.
And really, it is interesting to see that you have three small stories put together into one. So there's the Monique will find a team, Alfred will quit his team, and good idea, not found,
Yeah.
all come together. So let's start with the individual teams and why, the reason behind the titles, and what actually inspired you to share that story.
So if I'd like talk about the storytelling part, like they always teach us that a story is like act one, act two, and act three. So it just we have to decide like how we are gonna process this. So it was totally based on a true story because Monique was abandoned by his team and by her team, and Alfred had the same thing, but he actually do the opposite. He quit his team. So it's kind of like way of finding and dividing the whole story. But yeah, I mean, just like we just put it on, Alfred will quit the team and Monique will find a team, and it just kind of when they meet each other, that's why we just put act one as Monique and act two is Alfred, and they meet with each other at the third point. And even after that, they had some dispute after like whose idea is better and how they're going to process it, but eventually they find the better idea for the
All
whole
right.
task.
So what elements of your personal stories or observations did you put into this project?
I think it would be better to answer that.
Like, sorry, can you repeat that?
So I'm saying, what elements of your personal experiences or observations did you put into this project?
I think like the main thing in terms of like act one, the main focus is like me trying to desperately finding a team despite everything. Because with how mine worked is that I've already had a team plan originally, yet it still didn't work out. So I'm desperately kept trying to look for one over and over again. In the end, resulting like in the end of Act One, of me just come to a conclusion of me just doing it by myself. With Act Two, with Alfred, despite forming a team really early on, he ended up quitting his team due to many conflicts that happened within their own group. So it tends to like cause a lot of conflicts that different problems, different solutions, and yet they still came together in the end.
Okay, so can we talk about you? I mean, even before the project, how did three of you come together to decide to do this work? Because don't forget that the focus of your project is how to find the right team members. So how did you decide that, okay, we're going to look at these challenges that most students are often faced with, and how did you find Monique? How did Monique find Alfred, and how did Alfred find you, Amit?
Oh, so that is because when we were doing our program in last semester, we were in the like the separate sections. So first, Alfred was with me originally in this like the first group. So because the other student they have a like a dispute like what ideas we are gonna approach and how we are gonna go ahead with this thing. Alfred at some point was like frustrated because he was doing like finding ideas, but no one is like giving the value that it's a good idea, we should approach it. So he just quits because of that reason. And on the other hand, Monique had a totally different story. She's like finding students, okay, who is available, who is not, and at some point, if somebody invite her into their group, but they were just like at the end they were just like, okay, no, we have to. I'm gonna do it separately. You can't join us. So Alfred already did a project with Monique because Monique acted as an actress in a short film that we did last semester, and in that one, Alfred find Monique like very good partner, and just like in terms of like a whole project and how she approached the idea, how she approached the acting part, how she approached the producing part. So it's like totally different kind of element, and Alfred thought like she would be the perfect partner, and because the whole point is just coming up at the same point when she got abandoned and Alfred quits the team, and he thought, okay, that this would be a better idea. And at that point, I was not in any team because I was looking for the teams, but I told him if it's good, I can be just invite me. I'll come with you because I'm a doer. I'm good with cameras, so I can be the help with the cameras because Alfred is good with editing and she's good with producing and acting. So it's just like we got with each other eventually, and we'll just find each other. And he just told me, okay, I'm doing this thing, and would you want to join? I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem.
So three of you wrote your individual stories, or you one directed, one produced, and one wrote. So
Yeah.
how did you build your teams?
So Monique, Alfred and Monique knows each other how they work. Monique is good with producing and acting, and Alfred was good with editing and screenplaying and also directing. But Alfred always find himself like little bit of difficulty setting up cameras, light, how we're gonna frame the scene. And me and Alfred were we were with each other. I think it was in second semester, so he knows that I'm good with cameras. And at that point, he asked that I want a camera person, I want a cinematographer who can just help me out. I'm like, okay, do it.
And you made a fantastic team, by the way.
Thank you so much.
So now, in your research and in creating the stories, what strategies did you discover to help students with team formation?
So the main agenda of the story that we showed in the actual film is in the last, even they find each other. It's not about like they find the partners. It's about accepting the other partner's ideas and thoughts, and finally finding a balance between that. And everybody thoughts like my idea is better and his idea. You just have to be like a little bit adjust yourself in terms of partnership and making a good actual product or the video or the film you want to do. So we showed that in the end they find each other, and even after finding each other, they are having a dispute between each other. My idea is better, her idea is better, and they were not realizing. But at the end, Alfred realized, okay, I think the idea she got is actually good, because at the first place, the idea was actually inspired by our professor Ashley.
Oh.
Yeah, she inspired the whole thing mockumentary, because they were discussing at that time. I didn't join them. They were discussing like how we're gonna do this. Her idea is this and this. Ashley told them like, okay, you can also document this whole process of you guys meeting each other and make it a meta documentary. Yes. And basically, what a meta documentary is, it's a combination of a short film plus inspiring the whole thing as a documentary. Like each person is sharing his thoughts also, but making it like a dramatical and in terms of like making a short film. So.
Wow, that's beautiful to hear. Yeah. You wanted to add something?
Yeah, so basically when we were talking about what project we did want to do, we had our own separate ideas when we came together. I had my own original short film idea when I decided to end up doing everything by myself. And Alfred has his own idea from his previous team about like 3 different kinds of documentaries. So when we came together as a team, we did talk about like what other ideas can we actually do as a duo. We ended up agreeing at a certain point doing a certain type of documentary, to which when we talked to Ashley about it, she didn't really think that it was a good idea for both of us, which led to the idea of asking like what did we wanted to do like after film. And both of us have our own answers in our own way. The thing is that in the end, we're too different from one another, yet despite working well together. So, which actually brought up the idea of doing a mockumentary.
That's good. Okay, so besides Ashley's influence on your projects, are there any other pivotal moments that sort of shaped or altered your original plan when you came together as a group?
I mean, I think you meet with Alfred was originated like basically the idea behind this whole thing.
Yeah, so like basically when Alfred asked me to like help him with his short film from last semester, because Alfred and I were in same class, and he needed someone to act for his short film project, and I just voluntarily like, sure, I'll go ahead and do it. And right after that filming, we had a talk about like capstone and such, and I was that in that point I was like basically by myself, so we were talking all about it, and I told him like my idea here and there, and then Alfred just walks in like, I'm thinking about quitting my team. Do you want to join me instead? And that's how it became a group.
Okay, so I know that for most films or movie productions, you have a couple of ideas in your head, but not all of those ideas make it to final production. So were there elements you took out while you were producing, while you were maybe editing, and why?
So in terms of like editing, we already like planned very precisely because we have only 4 weeks to do this.
Okay.
So we had a couple of things that we changed while making this whole thing. First, we were originated like showing as an actual documentary with a story. But as we are making this and the week passed, we realized, okay, it's making sense like a short film, because we couldn't get the actual person like who can just comes in and just, because everybody is not available. So we are just asking other people as a cast to come in and making an interview to make it like a documentary, because in documentary people share their original thoughts and stuff like that. But because of the not like availability of the original like the person, so we took the other person as a cast, as an actor, and we made this thing. And after shooting like I think it was 2 or 3 weeks, we realized that it's not making sense as a pure documentary. And then we started pursuing as like a ending the whole story as a short film, and also putting some interviews so that it sensed like it's also a documentary. So that's what the thing. And if you ask me like a couple of things that we didn't add it in like the final film, I mean there were a couple of things, but we planned it so much that everything was on point, and we were like literally feeling lucky that it is happening. And we were not having like, even like we don't have much revisions of the shots. It's just because of some sort of light change we did it. But yeah,
That's good. So how did you ensure that your project, your documentary stayed within the subject area? Because I know you were very particular. I could tell from Monique will find a team to Alfred would, what was Alfred's name again? Alfred would quit his team to
good idea not
good
found.
idea not found.
Yeah.
You were really, your theme or your message was really connected, was aligned throughout the 3 short stories. But how were you able to keep that in check and ensure that you were sharing perspectives and narratives that everyone could resonate or relate with?
I think you're like her coming with Alfred, and they were showing actual things that people have when they are forming the group. The arguments, the ideas,
Like, did you do some research? Did you interview students? Or how did you come about ensuring that those alignments with what you were producing as long as what people have experienced?
Because we have already, it's totally based on the true story. We didn't change anything. Alfred shared his own experience, Monique shared her own experience, and it was like totally true. We didn't change anything. Like arguments with other friends, totally showing that it is actual happening right now, and this is how people are actually having difficulties, when students are having difficulties while making capstone, and so they can relate with this thing. Okay, that happened to me. I had an argument with my friend. That happened to me. Okay, finding the right equipment, finding the right idea is the whole thing of accepting each other as a partner to make the perfect idea. And doesn't matter you are alone, you will find eventually the perfect partner to work with, because this creative industry is totally like you have to be perfect with working with a team.
Yeah, you can't be a lone ranger. I mean, and then you work better when you work with people. So, and I think the whole human race was built to be, we sort of lean on each other to thrive. So I think that's a very great perspective that you have examined through your work and even projected to the world to see that. I mean, it could be challenging to find the right team, but open your heart and embrace the opportunities that come with it.
Yeah.
And I totally love it. Okay, now a few more questions before we wrap up today. Could you tell me how you're able to infuse in some entertainment elements into your work? Because you could have kept it very serious, but it was a bit of, I could watch and I could laugh. I could say, oh my God, that's true. How are you able to infuse some entertainment elements into the mockumentary?
I think it's totally about finding the right assets, because we could make this whole thing serious, but if we would have done that, nobody like takes it as in like an oh my god, like that is relatable, because they have like different emotions when we are making groups and stuff like that, being serious, being in with an argument, and it's like sometimes we laugh at each other, some sort of mistake we did and some sort of things we had in our own experience. So I would say like in editings we find each and every part. If you think like there are like certain moments where we just like fast pacing things happening, we use the fast music, so it's totally depending upon like the musics and assets we choose. But as we are doing it, it's not about like how we can plan the editing, it's about like how we are doing it and how we are finding it, because the actual advantage for us is that it was totally depend on the actual story. So when we were doing it, actually Alfred was the one who was mainly editing the timeline, but we were discussing about the rough cuts and how we are going to do this, finding the right assets and musics. So it was Alfred like just showed me this different kind of songs that okay, you're using this, and it's kind of also difficult to find copyright free songs. So yeah, at some point we took that thing, and it's actually every student has to do this with their capstone, research on the inspired movies you have in your mind, because that can actually teach you how you can make the right film. Because every serious movie, even these days, every serious movie has some comedic moments. We have to create them, because it's not about the serious situation, it's also about the entertainment. It's not about the message, it's also about the entertainment and the message on top of that. So we kind of just adjusted our whole timeline with the music that perfect makes sense and relatable to every student who's watching our movie.
Wow, that's well said, because it takes good craftsmanship to be able to tell your stories the way you have done. Because even though you have the scenes and the stories, but putting them together one layer over the other in a way that people can relate to it is, I think, the whole essence of even having a film project. And I think you pull it off very well. So congratulations to you and your team. Now, before I let both of you go, can you tell me, in your own words, what would be the takeaway? Now, we know what a message is clearly. There is no doubt about that. But what would you want people to really take away from your mockumentary?
I would say, like in few words, I can say is like accepting other people and find a balance, because it is a creative industry and you have to work with the team and with other people, even if you are not good with them, or even you think okay they have their own perspective and own ideas. You have to not start living on perspective rather than living on perception, because that's the thing that will get you ahead in terms of getting in this industry on a good level.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And what about you, Monique?
For me, like the main thing is that communication is really a key to forming a really good team. Actively communicating with one another about what you think, what you want to do is really crucial when it comes to doing a project like this. Especially if you started doing something on your own, especially when you have a team with you, it just causes more conflict. And not responding to the other person is also a big problem as well, because it will just help them more doubt about what are they supposed to do. It'll just keep them way more behind than they're supposed to be. So like when it comes to the team, really good communication is a necessity. Yeah.
I appreciate your time being here today, and I want to add that we shine brighter when we work better together. It was great speaking with you, Monique and Amit, on Cotton Room Floor today. Hopefully we can let our audience see a sneak peek into the mockumentary. But that's all for today. From the highs of creative breakthrough to the lows of did we just lose our lead actor? Well, this episode gave us a front row seat to the real unfiltered journey of student filmmakers. And I know that in the near future, you will become maybe directors or producers of huge film projects. Fingers crossed, right? Well, collaboration isn't always easy, but as we have seen today, the right team can turn chaos into cinema gold. So whether you are a filmmaker, a storyteller, or just someone trying to find your people, you have to keep creating, keep pushing, and trust that your vision will find its way. It's been great speaking with you both, Monique and Amit. And I want to say congratulations on your project. Now, everyone, it's time to watch the mockumentary. Monique will find a team, Alfred will quit his team, and good idea not found.
Sometimes everything looks so ordinary. Just a messy work desk, a few sketches, and some pencils lying around. Nothing out of the usual, right? But that's exactly when fate gets sneaky. It hides a challenge somewhere, waiting for the moment you're not ready. Then, out of nowhere, it throws it right at you. "7 days. Really? They think I'm ready for this?" Honestly, I haven't even figured out the first step. A whole team and every name feels like a blank I'm supposed to fill in. But right now, my brain is just as blank as those spaces. Every time I ask my friends for help, they always say I'm busy, like it's some kind of secret code. But this time she actually said, "Alright, that's faster than I expected." But when things go too smoothly, that's usually when trouble starts hiding somewhere I can't see just yet.
Monique, are you still there?
Yeah.
So, when are you doing capstone?
January to February.
I don't want to say this, but mine's from like March to April.
Reality is always like this. So close, yet it just has to make things complicated. The timing doesn't match? Then what? Ask someone else? I hate the idea of begging, but not asking is not really an option. So I'm gonna do whatever I can, just pull a team together. But is that really the truth?
Sorry, I think I already got a group.
Why are you only looking for a group now? That's rough.
I'm planning to do the capstone alone.
Oh, do you need any help?
I guess no. No.
Do you have a group?
I've got my team, so you might as well go.
This is Alfred, an annoying egomaniac. I honestly don't know what he's so proud of.
By the way, can you be my actress in my short film on Friday?
To be honest, I didn't think too much about it. I just agreed without really realizing what I was doing.
So, have I found a team today?
Yes, I really found a team that was willing to accept me. But when they asked if I had any idea, all I could do was awkwardly shake my head. I could clearly feel the mood shift and practically see the disdain look on his face. Yeah, whatever. I finally found a team that's willing to take me in. Oh, right. There's a key point I haven't mentioned. The reason I got into this team isn't because they saw potential in me. They're actually still waiting for a reply for someone else to join. They're actually waiting for someone to reply. So within a team, it would require 3 people. So once that person replies and said no, I could join them. If not, then I have to look for something else. So I just told them, don't bother, don't stress too much about it, just let me know when it happens. It was already 11 p.m. and the waiting all night was driving me crazy. Just as I was about to lose my mind and going to text them, I saw those familiar 3 little dots start moving.
And so, Monique picked up her pencil, beginning to brainstorm her own ideas. She silently told herself that tomorrow might just be the day when others come asking her to join their team.
Hey Monique, have you found a team for captain yet?
This is Jordan. I've heard he's been trying to find a team, but keeps getting rejected. Why didn't his name pop into my head before?
So, can I do my capstone with you?
Now that I've got a team, it's time to start doing things that I could only do with a team. Step 1. Asking for ideas. I asked Jordan, do you have any idea? he just casually said,
No.
so I had no choice but to force myself to share the idea I came up with last night. But he listened without showing any emotion and finally said,
I'm okay.
Alright, step 2, assigning roles. I asked him what he was good at, and he replied,
Good.
what the hell is you are good? So I pushed further. Are you good at filming or editing? He said,
I'm okay.
God, again, fine. I'll be the writer and producer, and he'll handle filming and editing. This conversation wasn't exactly painful, but it sure wasn't easy either. Anyway, I finally got my team. Now, the hardest part is ahead of me. So my idea is a point of view documentary. Since the perspective is in first person, it creates this interesting concept. And it also helps me with certain issues like looking for people. Since everything is in first person, I don't need to look for one. Now, all I need to do is just come up with a script.
We're going to see just how much the no-looms played by screenwriting and ran it through the Save the Cat structure. And the results were surprising.
So he says the team doesn't suit him? What a great excuse. He might as well just say he found a better team. Actually, it's not bad. Losing an unreliable teammate might not be a bad thing after all. I don't remember exactly how frustrated I felt, but I do remember that I'm doing the capstone by myself now. I turned my frustration into motivation, and in the end, I managed to barely finish my idea. It wasn't perfect, but I believe it was something I could pull off on my own. It seems to have forgotten something.
On the final day of submitting the team list, Monique fully assisted Alfred in completing the short film shoot. The set was lively, and the team's seamless cooperation allowed her to experience a long-lost sense of accomplishment.
At the end of the shoot, I casually mentioned Alfred's capstone project, and to my surprise, he said,
I just gave it out to my team member. I don't need a boss in my team.
His tone was casual, as if he were talking about the weather.
What's your capstone idea?
I replied that,
Okay, so I do have this one idea, which it might be a short film. I'm trying to find which camera, do some research about and I already have this story plan. It's sort of like a mystery thriller stuff.
wait, what did he say?
I'm looking for a person who has the same idea as me to do capstone. So do you want to team up with me?
That was such a long afternoon. He just kept going, giving me endless directions. Every word out of his mouth felt like it was testing my patience. In 130 hours, I'll be out of this group. And his capstone won't be my problem anymore.
I'm Alfred. Someone Monique describes as an annoying egomaniac, but I don't give a shit.
Nick, my best buddy. When we found out we could pick our own teams for the capstone, he was the first to ask me to join. I'd heard he could be a bit bossy, but since we'd never actually worked together before, I believed our friendship could handle anything. We will create a documentary and become the most cohesive and harmonious group.
I don't want to do a documentary. A documentary? You will include all of this, all of the footage, the color correction, all the editing in your portfolio. But what about me?
Wait, you are the producer.
Nick said he wants to be on camera as the host, so he thinks a documentary isn't the right fit. He suggested switching to a web series instead. I refused, and we should create something deep and meaningful, not just an entertainment-focused web series. But I gave up arguing with him for the sake of team harmony, so I agreed to the plan for the web series.
So, do you have any ideas for the web series?
What do you mean ideas? I don't have to think any idea. You have to think about the idea. Remember, you are the one who wants to do a documentary with a web series?
Wait, what?
So you better think about an idea and give it to me.
He paused for a moment, as if deep in thought, and then he said,
You better keep me updated all the time. We are in a team, and I want to be sure you're on my track. Okay?
Okay.
You know what? That was the first time I ever had the thought of leaving this team, a thought that even surprised me.
A documentary combined with a web series? What the hell is that?
Far out across the blue Pacific lie Hawaii's enchanted isle.
I was about to message Nick right away to confirm if travel a good topic, but then I thought he'd probably say it's fine anyway, so I decided to wait until we met tomorrow to discuss it face to face.
You know what? I love it.
I was confident my idea couldn't be wrong, he must approve it. However,
But maybe there's a lot of people doing content about travel. You know, I need something unique.
I always feel like when others interfere with my ideas, it just creates more chaos. Nick keeps insisting on having his say, like he's scared of losing control.
Do you have a group?
Sometimes it's a very uncomfortable feeling when you're completely out of ideas and then someone starts questioning your abilities, like, sometimes just a little inspiration to make your mind come alive again, like a meadow being swept by the wind.
1. Farm to World Feast. Embark on a weekend adventure to craft exotic dishes. 2. Drawn to landmarks. Draw landmarks they hold value, community history, and personal memories.
My first idea was to explore local farms as a weekend activity, buy some farm fresh produce, and then invite chefs from different countries to use those local ingredients to create exotic dishes. Sounds amazing, right?
This guy shows up.
Hi, can I take your order?
Hello, people. I want to show you how it is to shoot a short film in college. This is
Great. He even has time to post the TikTok videos.
Everything's getting ready.
The second idea is to visit small towns and invite locals to draw landmarks that are special to them. Then we'd use their drawings to explore and find those landmarks, uncovering their cultural significance and community history.
So right now, all I need to do is get my idea into a planning document, and my job will be done.
Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can!
Already, it's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I think my capstone plans must amaze my teammates.
But man proposes, God disposes.
Capturing every little moment through the lens.
Where all the creative stuff.
Now I understand. He doesn't want to see my capstone plan at all.
You're not mad, right? Believe me, I've been very busy lately, but I will check your plan. I believe this is a good idea, but in the end, we're a team, and I have to participate. So I will give you my opinion, and I will make this project better.
I started to doubt myself. Was there something I wasn't doing well enough? Was it because my abilities weren't up to par, and that's why Nick didn't want to check my plans? I had to force myself to accept it. If he didn't want to check my plan, that was his choice and mistake. After all, I designed these ideas for him. But why? Why am I so focused on meeting his demands? But 1 hour later, I know he didn't mean to mock me, but it still felt like he just laughed off all my efforts. I can't take it. No matter how I explained why shooting a travel video indoors wasn't possible, his response was always the same.
You've never been willing to communicate with me. This isn't what I want. Rewrite it. Thank you.
He has time to post short content videos every day, but never thinks about his own plans. At that moment, I decided. From the very beginning, I hadn't truly fought for my own ideas. I'd chosen to compromise out of fear of conflict. But now the conflict was unavoidable, and I realized I had no reason to keep compromising any longer. In that moment, it didn't seem like I was the one who should be mad, but inside, I was boiling like a storm. I just wanted to smash something to release all this frustration, maybe a plate. To be honest, Monique's acting talent completely shocked me. This was her first time being on the camera, but she did really well. I didn't even give her a storyboard. You know, she just read the script.
What's your capstone idea?
Okay, so I do have this one idea, which is like a first-person perspective sort of thing. It might be a short film, but at the moment I'm trying to like find which camera to use. I do have a story plan, which is like a mystery type of sort. I'm planning to like take advantage of the first-person perspective into writing the story.
So, do you want to team up with me?
Look, your ideas are good.
She's our capstone professor, Ashley.
But they are not documentaries. Not yet.
Ashley said that a documentary needs a broader perspective and a contrast of different viewpoints. But our ideas were too narrow.
In other words, my ideas can only be called mini character stories.
Here's an idea. What if you don't make a traditional documentary, but a meta documentary? You make a short film about you two making a documentary. Like something fresh.
A meta documentary? I love it.
I don't love it.
Buck up, son. It could be worse. Be cheerful. Like me.
Maybe I shouldn't have agreed to make that short film.
Why? What's the problem?
Because it's not a documentary. It's a short film, you know? When I started about doing a documentary, I've already had a story, true story. But with a short film, I feel like I'm forcing myself to create a fake story. That's tricky for me.
I can actually write the script. I can help you.
Sounds good.
With big green eye.
Got it, love it, and respect it.
So here you are.
So I can actually make stories in a storyboard kind of way. So with this storyboard, it's a project that I've been working on way before, and I think it looks kind of good. So.
Oh, perfect. Love it. I mean, who starts storyboarding before writing script? It's like, you know, putting the cart before the horse.
Trust me, we can work this out together, okay?
Okay. No. I mean, it's not that I don't trust her, but the way she handles things makes it confusing for me.
No matter how much I explained how difficult that topic was, Monique always looked confident. Honestly, I had no idea where her confidence came from. I still didn't really have any ideas at that moment. But at that time, I was just trying to finish that pitch PowerPoint somehow, because 3 days later, we will be pitching our project to Ashley. So I asked Monique to help me with something.
I don't need her to do storyboards, but I asked her to send me her stories. I'll be writing them into my script.
And there was one more thing giving me a headache. If I had to assign Monique a role, what should it have been?
I'll be writing a script, handling the filming, and, of course, I'll do editing.
So, I complained to my friend that I really wanted to embrace my team. But every time I messaged Monique asking when she'd have the story ready, the reply was almost always the same sentence.
So, what did she say? Anything else?
Say.
I'm working on. Still working. I'm practically done. I have like not yet done. Frames left. I'm almost done.
Well, good luck, I guess.
At that moment, I suddenly got a message from Monique. But it's a storyboard. It was about how she had been abandoned by the team.
Good luck.
I only needed a short paragraph because her story takes up just 2 minutes in the script. Seriously, why did she have to make such a simple thing so complicated? I checked 2 pages of her storyboard and then I just couldn't keep going.
So, is it because I didn't explain it clearly, or her understanding just special?
That day, we were gonna take some team photos for the PowerPoint. Honestly, I felt like Monique hadn't really been much help so far, and she had already been 30 minutes late.
Hey, where are you? I'm outside of the...
I didn't even know what she could do for me, you know. It was like I was doing everything by myself. Maybe I should have just asked her to take some photos of me, showing everyone Alfred was working hard. That was a kind of teamwork, right?
Listen, Monique. The storyboard you gave me, it doesn't work. I feel it's empty.
It's not empty. You're just overthinking it.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe because the short film is not I want to do. The whole things, it's not my end.
I was just talking about the topic, but she looked so tense, as if I was about to quit the team.
This is a team project. You can't quit right now.
I'm not saying I'm gonna quit. I'm just saying I'm stuck.
But she still didn't seem to understand what I meant.
You can't just decide what the project is or isn't by yourself, okay?
Alright, this conversation wasn't exactly painful, but it definitely wasn't easy.
I'm saying we got to redo the whole ideas.
Redo it? Just consider my story. The presentation is about to start.
You guys are doing a great job so far, but for next week, I need a story outline and a basic version of a script. Don't overthink it, just do the basic. And since your story
Alright, 7 days. My mind was a complete mess. I looked over at Monique. She seemed to be in a great mood, as if she was on vacation. Of course, it's not like she is someone who has to write the script, right?
I think you guys have a wonderful story here. It's one of the most interesting ones, so I'm super excited for it. Good luck.
But with the short film, I feel like I'm forcing myself to create a fake story. That's tricky for me.
I can actually write the script. I can help you.
Sounds good.
Liar. Here you are. So I can actually make stories in a storyboard kind of way. So with this storyboard, it's a project that I've been working on way before, and I think it looks kind of good. So.
Oh, perfect. Love it. Totally love it.
Honestly, I don't even think Alfred will check the storyboards. Did you see his expression? Trust me, we can work this out together, okay? Don't trust me. I can't just quit or get left out of the team again, okay? That's why I said it. I told Alfred that I was usually at that spot, so he could just come to find me there instead of messaging me every time to ask where I was. So Alfred told me to send him a story about myself. I think I'm gonna do it in the form of a storyboard. In fact, I don't even think he really needs it, but I'll still do it anyway. I think I'm a great screenwriter, right? I thought it was pretty good for this team that everyone had their own story. Since we were doing a mockumentary, it didn't just have to be about imagining the future when we shot the film. We could also reflect on our past experiences and stories.
Stand over there. Look at me, okay? Don't move, don't move. No, you're right. We need this to look like perfect tomorrow, okay?
Okay. The day we took our team photo, Alfred was directing non-stop, telling me to stand there, lift my hand there, even correcting the angle of my head. He even started demonstrating the proper way to lift my head. Come on, I do know how to lift my own head. This was all happening outside in minus 15-degree weather. After taking the photos, I can't help but ask Alfred, "Why? But don't you think our photos look a little, fake?" He didn't even lift an eyelid and just threw out 2 words.
No way.
Alright. He didn't seem to care about my opinion at all. Not even enough to think about my question. In his eyes, am I a teammate or just a bystander? To ease the awkwardness, I wanted to ask him what he thought of my storyboard, but... So how do you think...
For the presentation, I will handle the story concept part, and you will take care of the rest. Sounds good?
Yeah, good. So...
I know. I will figure out the script as soon as possible. Don't push me, please.
Okay, take your time, but my story...
That's good.
I regret joining this team now. I know for certain he has either not looked at it or he has seen it, but has not bothered to give me any sort of feedback. And I'm seriously mad right now. That day, we were gonna do the final pitch. What I said the other day about wanting to quit the team, it was just something I said out of frustration, but...
Listen, Monique. The storyboard you gave me, it doesn't work.
You all know what happened next, right? We almost got into an argument. So let's just jump to the next sequence. That day's presentation went surprisingly smoothly, and Alfred seemed much more relaxed than usual. Maybe he had finally overcome his doubts and stopped resisting that project? Everything was moving in the right direction then.
We should change the project.
What? Have you even considered my storyboard?
Yeah, but your storyboard is a bit off from the direction we're going.
So you haven't really understood the script, have you? You're treating this like it's your personal project.
I've never said it was my project.
But you've never even embraced my idea. It doesn't feel like our project, it feels like yours.
I respect what you did to this team, okay?
So your idea of respect is making me your assistant? You don't even want to consider someone else's idea. God. Maybe I should have never agreed to join this team. Collaboration is about finding balance, not just doing whatever you want.
I feel like we're on 2 different tracks.
He seems to have forgotten why he left his previous team.
I think our understanding of the script is too narrow.
If he can't come up with a good idea himself, why not just use mine?
She thinks it's just documenting her life. It's not a drama, right?
Even if my script isn't perfect, it can still be changed.
If I do something change, she will definitely feel like I'm not respecting her creativity.
I feel like he doesn't trust me.
I just feel like she's making things harder for me. I don't know, man.
I think I'm just gonna work on my own now. Turn my story into a short film. You know, how I was abandoned, then found a new team, and how I abandoned it again. But I still hope I could still collaborate with Alfred. I mean, this isn't just my story anymore. It's our story.
I don't know, for some reason, Monique never mentioned another story she figured out.
2 people come up together to deal with collaboration and differences.
And come up with ideas for the mockumentary.
Based on my journey of being abandoned and his decision to leave his team,
And how we figure out a good idea.
the title of the short film will be Good Idea Not Found.
I know where she is.
Wait, what?
Come on.
Hey, where are you going? I'm recording right now.
Hey Monique, let's make a mockumentary.